Why do we blow the shofar? Some wise people in this room. Crying. Soul. I like what I'm hearing. So the Rambam says the following in Hilchos Tshuva, Perek Gimel, Halacha Daled. Afal pi shetkiyas shofar, even though the blowing of the shofar on Rosh Hashanah is gezeres hakosov. Do you know why we blow the shofar? The Gemara says. The Gemara asks the question: why do we blow the shofar on Rosh Hashanah? Pop quiz.
What's return?
Return to the Lord. So you know what the Gemara says? Why do we blow the shofar? Because the Lord said blow the shofar. You like that answer? By the way, it's not a bad answer. It's a fantastic answer. If your wife asked you, take out the garbage, you said, why?
Because I told you.
Because I asked you to take out the garbage. Do you need another reason to that? Can you please pick me up those earrings? Why? Sometimes there is such a thing of doing something. You'll see this with your children. Clean up your room. Why? Because I said so. That might make people think like, do I really agree with that? Do I like that? Well, God says there is such a thing as when God says to do something. There's such a thing as because God said. Now, every single kid, generally, when their parent asks them to do something, and let's say that you look up to your parents and you believe that they have a greatness to them, there's still a feeling like, I know better than you. But maybe they know something more. Maybe they've been in the world longer. Maybe they have insights of the world that we just don't have. And maybe when they ask us to do something, maybe there's a reason. And if I could understand that by a parent, that when they ask to do something, that maybe that's just enough of a reason, then certainly I could realize when God says to do something, that there's a reason in itself just to do it, because God knows what He's talking about. So the Gemara says, why do we blow it? Because God said, Amar Achmana Toka, blow the shofar. But listen to the Rambam. Even though the blowing the shofar on Rosh Hashanah is gezeres hakosov. Gezeres hakosov means because Hashem said to. And we should have enough trust intellectually, because we understand the authenticity and the truth of God, to know that when God asks, that is authentic. Remesh yes boy. Now the Rambam is adding something. Even though that the real reason we blow the shofar is very, very beyond understanding. And just the fact that God is saying to blow the shofar is enough of an intrinsic reason, there is some secret hint that we can reveal. So what's that? Says the Rambam. Kloimar. Now he's quoting from the words of the prophets. Uru, uru, yeshenim, yeshein aschem. Wake up, you shloofers. I didn't mean it. I meant all of us. You shloofers. What's shlof mean? It's Yiddish. It means what it says. Shloofin. You're shloofing away. You're shloofin. You're shloofed. You're shlof gefuft. You're shloofed. Verschloft. Verschlofen. Means you're shloofin. Sleeping. Wake up, you shloofers. Mishein aschem. Not only are you shloofin, you're shloofing in your shloof. You're deeply sleeping. In your sleep, you're sleeping. And furthermore, v'hikitzu nirdamim mitar damaschem. This is even stronger. And hikitzu means snap out of it. Those that are, anybody speak a little bit of Hebrew? What's tardema? Means like an anesthetic, like comatose, when a person gets put out under local anesthetic. A tardema is like deep. Like you could shake the guy and he's... Like, yeah.
Catatonic?
Out. Like, out. Like teenagers at 9 a.m. Like, out. And you can like take it, not budging.
If you say there's free weed, they might.
They might, you're right. Which is so interesting. Because if that's what gets a person up, then we should serve. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But at least it's encouraging to know that something will get these people up. What we need to do is just show them there's something a lot more delicious and a lot more beautiful than just smoking a fat cone. We have to help them realize there's something much more beautiful. And allow that to be the motivation. Because what's that going to give them? They get up to smoke just to fall back asleep? And just schloof their life away? That's what we're talking about. So the shofar comes and screams out, wake up, you sleepers from your sleep, and snap out of it the ones who are under this anesthetic from your tardema, like you've been put out, like not a general, not a local, general anesthetic, like injected out, way out, and we have to get that person up, we have to wake him out of his slumber. And then what happens once he wakes up? V'chipsu b'ma'aseichem. Review your ways. Now, is he still sleeping? These are the words of the prophets. Is he still sleeping at this point?
He's woken up, he said.
So it says, wake up, you shloofers.
Okay.
And snap out of it from your comatose state. It sounds like either you got into the comatose and you're talking to him like in the Matrix, you're in his dream, shaking him, or he actually woke up and then you're talking to him. Like either it's the red pill, blue pill thing that was in the Matrix, right? It's like, we can cut a deal. Blue pill, you go back to, steak and wine. Red pill, you see how far the rabbit hole goes, right? That's still in the Matrix. That sounds like you're able to access him inside the metaverse. That's one option. Or two, he actually wakes up and then you have a real conversation with him and you start telling him, review your ways. Start considering what your life's all about. V'chazru b'tshuva. V'zichru b'yrachem. And remember your Creator. It looked like something about falling asleep is attached to forgetting God.
But if you fall asleep, doesn't your soul go back to God?
So the idea of sleep is a very interesting concept. God created a world where we need sleep. The Gemara says if a person says, I'm going to take an oath that I'm not going to go to bed for 3 days straight. I'm going to stay up nonstop. So we basically we say, okay, buddy, come over here. Let me show you your bed. Don't play games. Have a good night's rest. Go to bed. You need sleep. It's one of the worst torture methods that horrible, evil people have done, and the Nazis would do, to keep people awake. Force them to stay awake. And just, the body needs sleep.
The dripping water thing?
Yeah, it's crazy stuff. Sleep is a part of the creation. It's an interesting thing. God could have made it you don't need sleep. He made it that you need sleep. What's one of the secrets of what sleep's all about? Well, there's two parts of sleep. Either sleep can mean a leaving of this world because it's too painful. So I have to revert back to sleep. That's why, sadly, a lot of people are depressed. They sleep a lot. One of the signs of somebody who's in depression. He's like, and that's why it's very important that the person notices someone's like sleeping a lot, and just, it's a sign like he's trying to leave. It's too painful to face life, so I just have to fall asleep. Dreams, we're going to talk a lot about dreams in the month of Kislev, which is coming up, which is the month of Hanukkah. It's a few months from now, one of my favorite months. And I want to do a whole series on dreams, because dreams are very, very special. Very special. And the Torah has a lot to say about dreams. There's something, though, about sleep, and not only sleep, there's a deeper level where a person puts themselves out. Tardema is like a self-inflicted comatose. You might compare that to drug overdoses, Netflix overdoses. And sleep here obviously is not only talking about physical sleep. It's an analogy for being asleep. You ever seen a person watching Netflix anybody there? I always say there's an image that sticks out to me so much. I remember I was we were traveling from the north of Israel back down to the south, and we were with a group of young teens, and they're living on their phone, chicks, the Getchkalas, and it was dark late at night, and I was in the front, and I remember turning my head back, full 60-seater bus filled, and all I saw, the bus was black, dark, were these glowing lights, each, it was pods of glowing light, each one, with little cords coming down from the roof of the bus, umbilical cords, right there, just attaching them to the source, and then every face was something like this. It's hello out there, signs of life. And people, human beings sitting beside each other. Now you would think we talk, it's very nice. A human being, could you imagine?
A what now?
Who's got time to talk to human beings, My favorite episode of Who Knows What is about to start. And I'm behind in my series. I'm only on season 4. I need to catch up. Crazy stuff. It's crazy. Sleeping. Shloofin. Tardema is like some deep comatose. It's hard to wake a person up from it.
We hear the shofar throughout Elul and Epitzur singing still, right? Or is it just after the Yom Kippur last time?
We hear it all the days of Elul, except the day before Rosh Hashanah. There's no shofar. We do that to mix up the Satan, and then we hit it super strong on Rosh Hashanah, 100 blasts, both days of Rosh Hashanah, and then we don't hear it again until Yom Kippur, the end of Yom Kippur, and that shofar is the shofar of the Mashiach, of Yovel.
How do you stay awake then throughout the rest of the year?
So we hope that during these days you get enough infusion of the shofar that it keeps you awake.
But then it only
the whole year.
For next year, the same thing happens again.
So the idea being is that you would say, what do you mean? So the first year that I came to learn Torah, I was out. I was fentanyled out and ethanol, I was done and cracked out and out, comatose out and sleeping, literally. Not me, I'm just saying a situation.
Sure, we believe you.
And therefore, but the next year you hope the guy woke up a little bit more. So why does he need the shofar? Because he's still, according to his level, he's still sleeping a little bit. And the next year he needs to wake up a little bit more. And the next year a little bit more. And every year we're talking about waking up more and more and more and more. Yeah.
Are we not allowed to play blast the shofar between Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur?
You can, but it's not. It doesn't have the same power as you have during these days now. It's not the time of the shofar. There's other energies that are keeping you up. Also, because the 10 days of tshuva, we're saying Avinu Malkeinu. We're opening up the Aron Kodesh every day. Shachris and Mincha. Avinu Malkeinu, Avinu Malkeinu. Yud Gimel Midas Harachamim, Slichas. There's other things. These are the days of the shofar. These are very powerful days of shofar. During these days. This is like the ikr time of the shofar, and the message is wake up, remember there's a creator, And the shofar speaks. This is so beautiful. Listen to these words. Eilu hashaychem es ha'emes, to those that have forgotten the truth. Behevlei hazman, in the emptiness of just going. Have you ever heard somebody say, "I'm so bored. Like, what do you want to do today? I got to kill some time. I got a show coming on later. Better kill some time until then. Dinner's at 7:30. Got to kill some time." I don't think I've thought about that concept in decades. Once you learn Torah, you realize every second is the most precious thing in the world. There's never a second you could be bored. God is infinite, and we're going to talk about this when we begin and continue, really, the 6 constant mitzvah series that we're doing, that there's always something to do for a yid. You're always on. All the time. So those that forget, time is like, you got to kill some time. V'shoigim kol shenasim behevel v'rik, and they spend their years and their time chasing vanities and empty things. We were asking the guys this morning, what would you rather have? A giant mansion, Ferraris, Wagyu steak, every meal, okay, let's make it better. Personal chef, whatever you want. Not bad. The Aussie likes it. Give me some other good stuff. Pools, table made out of gold. Not bad.
Nice lady.
There's only one problem.
Private jet.
Private jet, fly private.
What's the problem? You don't need the license?
It's just one problem. The guy's kids hate him, and his wife despises him.
Did you get the nice lady as well on the side? Another nice lady.
And then there's a pair of kids, right, Josh?
Huh?
Just swap the kids?
Yeah, swap families. That's perfect.
Do you think that guy can enjoy his house, can enjoy his car? Like, I'm out of here, I'm getting the Ferrari, yeah. Paddle shift, I'm feeling good.
Not in the right way.
You think he's really enjoying it? Or there's a part of him that everything's tainted because I don't have what's really meaningful, is relationships, healthy relationships. So if the person spent his life chasing those things, just for their sake, without the relationships, we call that hevel v'rik. Emptiness, vanity. You invested all that time. Honey, do you mind coming home a little bit early? Like Chaim Yanko wants to play catch with you, and you promised that you throw the ball around with him, after school today. I'd love to. I got this meeting today. I told you I had this. I told you. I have. Yeah, but you told Chaim Yanko you're going to play catch with him. Will you, tell him I can't. Tell him I can't.
Okay. I want
Hit it, Daniel.
to add something. So, God is unlimited. So God can make many things. God made everything.
Do you want to have a beautiful marriage and a Ferrari? Is that what you're suggesting?
Would that be possible?
Sure, of course it is. Why not? You can.
And you could be fully righteous.
Yes, you can.
And
I'm giving the example of the person who's chasing the vanities at the expense. Oh,
Yeah, definitely not.
that guy needs the shofar. That guy needs the shofar. For sure, you can have a beautiful home,
I could
and
use
in,
shofar too.
From
so can I. That's why we blow it every day. Good thing we have the Baal Tokeh right here. Thank you, Jack. You gotta give props to the one who's waking us up here. Baruch Hashem. Who's responsible for the goods. So we're speaking about the case of the guy who's like, he's chasing something at the expense of what's really meaningful. Of course he could have both. Back to the call. Honey, you said you were going to come home. Chaim Yanko really wanted to play ball with you today. You promised that you were going to come home from the meeting. You're so right. I know I had this $1 billion meeting this afternoon.
$1 billion.
Billion.
Billion with a B.
$1 billion meeting. And I know I've been ditching him, and I value him more than that $1 billion. Tell Chaim Yankel, I'm ditching the meeting. On my way home, I might just, let them know that I've got more important priorities right now, or maybe we could reschedule. But I gave my word to my kid. And that, at the end of the day, you can't put the $1 billion in your grave, but the relationship with your kid, you're going to take forever, for eternity. Now, I'm not telling you, well, catch with your son or $1 billion meetings. It could be if you tell your son, and he's like, Dad, you've been working on this meeting the whole time. Like, oh, I didn't know there was a $1 billion meeting. We wouldn't have made the catch thing today. It could be. It all depends on the relationship. I'm not saying one over the other, but I'm saying relationships are more important than having money but no relationships. That should be absolutely clear. So the shofar is going to come to wake up this consciousness. We're going to speak more about the shofar. Everyone have a wonderful day. Amen. Kol Tuv.